Welcome back, scholars. So we're going to go ahead and continue the rest of this drawing using only the line tool, okay? Before we start getting into the patterns and the background, I wanted to go over the select tool. So remember, you could go ahead and move everything around. So as soon as you click on this, you're going to notice that since it's the last shape that we did, it's all the way at the front. If we want to move any shape inside, we cannot really click or grab any of the shapes inside of the ellipse because it was the last one. And again, if you go to layers here, you're going to notice, since again, this is the last thing that we did. Everything that we do is going to be converted into a layer. If we want to get rid of this because I no longer want it, I could just click it and delete it. But if I don't want to delete it, if I just don't want it there now, I could go ahead and hide it. So the little eye that you see here, if we click on it, it's going to hide the entire mirror. As soon as I add it, we could see it again. The problem is that since it's all the way at the top, I cannot grab any of the little shapes inside. So what I have to do is, once the entire ellipse is selected, I go to options and I send it back. Now that it's sent back, I could grab the shapes inside. And again, when I open the layers, you're going to notice that the square that was converted into the ellipse is now all the way at the bottom, where it's right on top of the background. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and continue the rest of this drawing using the line tool. You could go ahead and follow along, but I'm going to go a bit faster just for the sake of this demo. So I'm going to go back to the line tool. Fill is at a 0 and outline is at 100% with the line width of 6. So I'm going to go ahead and continue with the lines here. Again, if I don't want this line, I just go ahead and delete it. And remember, if I'm not satisfied with my lines, I could always move it around. So I'm just going to go ahead and click finish. Then I'm going to get started and I'm going to do another line here, going all the way down. And then I'm just going to click finish. Wherever I see a shape, for example, this hand, I'm going to go ahead and get started here. I'm going to finish. And I'm going to stop right there. And then I notice that this circle is in the wrong place. So I'm going to select it and I'm going to move it towards the center. Notice how I'm just doing general shapes. Right here I have another circle. I'm going to click on this with the select tool and I'm going to move it a little bit more to this side. I'm going to get my line tool and I notice that there's another triangle right here. I'm going to go ahead and do this shape of the other side of the belly. Notice how I'm just doing it little by little. And remember, it does not have to be perfect. The beauty of cubism is that it's abstract. So don't worry if it's not perfect. It's okay. Remember, if your lines are way off, you can always just move them around as soon as you're finished. Click. Remember, every time this line follows you, in order for it to stop following you, don't forget to click the little check mark. Now, I'm not satisfied with that shape, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select the lines 2 times. I'm going to click on it. You could always zoom in if it's easier. And notice how I'm just moving it around to wherever I want. I'm going to go ahead and click. I'm satisfied. I also noticed that this belly, I'm just going to move it a little bit more. Click OK. Zoom out. And I'm going to keep making the major shapes. So right here, I notice that the arm is going this way. So I'm just going to go ahead and start with the hand. I'm going to continue the shape right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and go like this so that I will not waste any time. And here is where I noticed that my triangle is a little bit too low. So I'm going to get my select tool. Click on my line because I don't want it. Make sure that this is in the back. So if you notice right here, it's a little bit curved up. This needs to be curved up a little bit more. I'm going to zoom in a bit. And remember, it does not have to be perfect. Right now, I'm just doing the general shapes. Notice how I'm moving everything around. It's just the general shapes. I'm not going to focus on the details of the fingers, not just yet. And then I'm going to click this. If I want to move the arm to the back so I'm able to grab the triangle, I can. Or I can just go ahead and grab. Notice how I'm not able to move the triangle. So I have to send the arm back. And then right now, I just noticed that this circle is also a little bit too high up. So I'm going to go ahead and select the circle. I'm going to select this. And I'm going to send it to the back because I cannot move anything else. You see what I did just there? I accidentally deleted everything. So whenever you make a mistake like this, you just go ahead and click on, just redo it, redo the whole thing. And then if you want to delete a line, don't do what I just did. I completely deleted everything. So just click on it one time. And yes, mistakes are going to happen. Make sure that your line is highlighted with that green line inside of your bold black line, and then just go ahead and click delete, and then go ahead and click. You're good to go. I'm gonna go ahead and just leave it like that. Now I'm gonna start doing these little curves right here. But when I do that, I do notice that this one right here, no matter how many times I try to send it to the back, I'm having a hard time. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to my layers, and I'm gonna send my line all the way to the bottom. You see how whenever the three little dots don't appear, it's always good to use the layer lines. Just send all the lines all the way to the bottom. I'm gonna go ahead and send this line to the bottom as well. So that way, when I select my triangle, I'm able to easily grab it now. And I'm gonna make it smaller. When I select on my little circle, I could go ahead and move it more easy now. Now I have some space. Okay. Now I'm gonna go ahead and continue with these lines right here. I'm gonna use the line tool. My line starts from around right here. And then I'm just going to click stop there. Then I'm going to do these two lines here on this side. And remember, it does not have to be perfect. The easy way to complete this assignment is to just copy the shapes. Notice how I just did the shape with the patterns, and now I'm going to do these right here. So again, I'm going to get started with my line tool. And I notice that this might be a little bit too high up, too low actually, so I'm going to bring it a little bit higher. So now if you see this, if you notice, there's a shape right here. It's the same shape that we see here. Similar to that shape, not exactly the same, not perfect. We see another little shape right here on the side, so I'm going to get my line tool. I'm going to first move my circle a little bit lower, a little bit more to the left. It's supposed to be a little bit longer, but I could go ahead and fix that later. So now in general, we have the basic shape. I'm going to go ahead and get started on shading now. So stay tuned for the next video. We have the major shapes. Now we're going to start focusing on patterns, which is going to be so much easier. If you want to go ahead and complete the face, again, you could go ahead and keep using the line tool. And then for the shapes that you see inside the face, you can just go ahead and do those shapes later on. So as long as you have this down, you should be good to go for part 3.